his pocket. That's a problem because that bowl game could bring more money to the schools, and they refused it, and he had to pay out of his own pockets
in exposure. Now
he shouldn't have to have gone through that.
Right.
No coach. No coach. The coach at Southern doesn't have to go through that. But that's a big school as far as HBCUs is concerned. Southern, Grambling, those are considered major schools in the HBCU space. Hampton, Morehouse, those kind of schools. They don't have to go through that.
Right. You shouldn't have to go through that. But see, and that would turn off families from wanting to send their kids
right
to these type of schools because you see the shady things that are going on. Another thing that I want to bring up, Max, that is very important is that when I was reading somewhere, and I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, but this is like a little exclusive here. People don't realize this, that Deion Sanders had a incentive-laden contract. So Jackson State signed Deion Sanders to an incentive contract. So the incentive is, if you do this, and this is very normal for coaches, if you do this, you get this much money. So the whole incentive contract was about if you have a winning season, if you get us to the SWAC championship, if we have an increase in attendance at the stadium, which is why he was talking about the ticket sales. He had a incentive-laden contract, and this is what, and this is the one that people don't know about too much. This is why it's all hypocritical, Max. In the incentive-laden contract, it even had in there, if you're here for a certain amount of years, and the school keeps winning and winning and winning and winning, and you make us a D1 school, meaning we have an opportunity to lead the SWAC and jump ship, we're going to give you an incentive bonus, Deion, for getting the team or this school to be chosen potentially to go to a big conference. So this is the hypocrisy, Max. The world media. The hypocrisy is that Jackson State's administration put an incentive in his contract that if you get us to a level where the NCAA says, hey, we want to move the school in another conference, a D1 conference, and we'll give Deion incentive money for getting us to that promised land. What I'm saying is, if Jackson State was offered tomorrow, because of Deion, hey, we're going to put you in the Pac-12, we're going to put you in the Big Ten, we're going to put you in the ACC, the SEC, and any other goddamn C, do you think that Jackson State would turn that damn money down and leave the SWAC if they say, if you leave the SWAC, this is the money and the resources that you would see coming your way? You know damn well that Jackson State would jump ship from the SWAC and would take advantage of the money opportunity. Because if they didn't, why would they put that in part of his incentive-laden contract?
Oh yeah, they definitely would have left that conference. Definitely, if they had the opportunity to go to the SEC, oh, they would have left. Trust me.
What happened to the sister? What happened is Deion got a $500,000 contract. He didn't get paid all the money that they owe him. They gave him. So what he did is, because he knew they couldn't pay him the kind of money that the bigger schools paid him, so he came to an agreement with them that he would get $300,000 a year, and then the rest of it would be incentives, such as ticket sales, such as if he wins so many games over so many years and so on and so forth, then they would give him this incentive payment. They do it in the NFL all the time when they backload people contracts or they front load their contracts. So what they were doing with Deion is that we're going to pay you based on incentives because we can't pay all of this up right here. And so Deion actually worked with Jackson State and took less money, but out of or they weren't willing to do it.
Right.
Wow.
He upgraded the buses, the team buses. He upgraded the buses. The food that they were eating, he hired a chef. This is out of his pocket.
Right.
The suits. You know how when players go visit another school, for game day they wear suits. That came out of his pocket, and Mike was straight. He called up his buddy and said, "Hey, can you help me out? I want them to look like something. I want them to feel like something." And then he contacted some of his friends that are boosters. Can you give some of these people NIL deals? He did that. He damn sure did. And here's another thing that he did. If he had stayed there, let's say if he stayed there and they treated him right, he stayed there for the next 10 years, he probably would have went up to another conference. You know why? Because he was getting all those big name players to come play there. He had a player from that transferred from Alabama to come to Jackson State. He had a player that transferred from Florida, I believe. He was getting those players. He had a freshman that committed to Florida State. He convinced him to come to Jackson State. Well, that guy is going now to Colorado now. He's going there now. He's not leaving him behind. He even got a 5-star kicker. That's probably going to be NFL bound. He reminds me of Martin Gramatic. He got an NFL. He got an NFL
shot with that kid.
Kicker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a YouTube short with that kid. That's the one when he was in the locker room speaking in Spanish, translating, and he's a kid. I think he's a Spanish dude, Mexican, I think.
He has two Spanish guys as kickers. He has two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Both. One is a place kicker. One is a place kicker. One is a kicker. One you do the kickoffs, and the other one is the place kicker.
Okay.
Both NFL quality. Their future, they're going to play on Sunday eventually. After they graduate, they'll be playing on Sunday. Because there's a shortage of kickers. You need kickers, and it's very important to have kickers. And he saw that importance. He went out there and found them. And guess what? They saw that Deion was recruiting them. They wanted to play for him that bad because it was Deion. That's what he brings to the table. These kids. Look, I had said this earlier. Now that he went off to Colorado, right? The news was circulating that he is going to Colorado. One of the running backs from Alabama. Okay, he's a top running back. He's going to be in the NFL eventually in his lifetime. He's going to be in the NFL. You know what he said? He tweeted Deion. He said, you got room for me?" That's the power that he brings. He just put the whole NFL world, the whole college world on notice. If he has something special, he has this aura that he brings when he come to your household that makes you want to play for him. Because they might see him as a father figure. They identify with him. He's a Hall of Famer. These kids identify with him, and they want to play with him. Matter whether they white or black, they want to play for him. That's what he's bringing. He just put the whole Pac-12 on notice. They already know he is a major threat. After he's done with Colorado, he's not going to college no more. He's going to the NFL. Deion will be an NFL coach eventually. His next stop is the NFL. That's how good he is. Let me tell you something. You don't go to Jackson State and turn it around that fast and start winning like that.
Yeah.
If you don't have the players, you got to have a certain caliber of players to come in and win, to compete. And he brought that in from day one. So he brings something special. Money can't buy that. He didn't do it for money. He's been rich the world over. He's already been rich. He's still rich. He's one of those players that did well with his money. He's a smart guy. And yes, they were paying him $300,000 a year. Yes, they didn't give him all his incentives or whatever. But he then had money. He's a competitor. You got to remember, he's a former football player. He likes to compete. So he wants to compete. This satisfy that need to compete still. That's why he's coaching. And also he want to help young people. That's what he brings to the table. But yes, he will be playing and he will be coaching in the NFL one day. It's coming.
I believe it.
He's going to turn Colorado around from day one. It's something there. You don't have a number one running back from Alabama talking about, you got room for me. He look at Deion like that's his family. That's something special, man. That's something that Nick Saban can't do.
Mm.
Even though people would love to play for Nick Saban because he's a coach at Alabama
Right.
and they win it. But Deion brings something more special than that. That money can't buy. These kids,
Facts.
they identify with him,
Mm-hmm.
and they saw what he did to those players. They saw it when he took money out of his own pocket. Those kids saw that. Oh man, he put the whole NCAA on notice.
Mm.
He definitely put the Pac-12 on notice because guess what? He got USC players in the damn transfer portal now, trying to come play for him.
Right.
USC.
Yeah, it looks like he got an Alabama prospect that he's nabbing away.
Yep. He nabbed
over there. So, yeah, I mean he knows what he's doing. He's effective at what he's doing.
He has a 6'6", 350-pound offensive lineman saying, "I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Coming to play for you, I'm coming."
Right. I mean, but at the end of the day, I would have loved to see Deion stay there for a long time and see how far he could have taken Jackson State. But at the same time, I have enough sense. I take the emotions out of it. I have enough sense to know that it's a business. And just because it's at Jackson State, it doesn't mean that it's still not a business. Because if that was the case, they would never fire any of their coaches if it was just about what people assume it should be about. There's students at Jackson State right now who didn't care about it because they were like, "Hey, I'm just a student. I'm not into football, so I didn't really care about it." And there's some that say, "Hey, I understand why he made the move." And there's some that say they feel that he turned his back on them. So, and they have a right to feel how they feel. But in the bigger sense, this is something that we have to get over as a people, and that is this idea that it's going to be this one person, that a football coach is going to somehow save the foot. Not only is he responsible to save the football team, but now he's supposed to save the whole damn institution. Wait a minute, what the hell do you have a president of the school for? That's the president's job. Deion was hired to be a football coach, not the president of the school.
Right.
So the person that's supposed to transform the overall institution is the president. That's why he's making over $100,000 a year. That's his damn job.
Right. That's right.
That's not Deion. Deion did not get hired to be. Deion did not get hired to be the president of the school, the coach, the athletic director, the ticket salesman, the hot dog salesman, the bus driver, the dormitory director. Seems like that's the way they wanted him to be.
But that's where, like you said, that's where the president comes in at. That's where the athletic director comes in at. But I saw something else he did. He pulled a kid aside, right? He said, "I'm going to give you some techniques to use when people interview you." He did that for them. It's like, he know all the nuances and the tricks of the trade. He said, "This is how." He said, "I don't want you to keep saying I don't want you to keep saying like some other word." He said, "You got to stop saying that." He said, "I want you to say it like this." He said, "Son, you're gonna play on." He said, "Son, I promise you, you're gonna play on Sunday." And guess what happened? The kid is playing on Sunday now. He plays in the NFL now. And one of the coaches said that the reason why he's there is because of what Deion said to him. Is Deion knows some of the nuances and the tricks of the trade of the game, and he brings that to the table as well.
I just think that Deion can relate to these young guys because he knows how these guys operate and move. He was there himself,
right?
And I think he talks to these young people the way he probably wanted to be talked to when he was at that point too. And I think he understands that this is a different generation and he knows how to talk to them. And he's got that swagger that no other coach in the country has. He can't see Nick Saban can't do what Deion can do when he walks into a young recruit's household.
Right.
Nick Saban doesn't have the charisma that Deion has. And bringing up Nick Saban, I want to bring this up because I will bring this up tomorrow. As much as we hate on Sanders, we forget that when Deion Sanders was recruiting, I think it was Travis Hunter, who I think Alabama wanted themselves.
Oh yeah.
We forget that it was Nick Saban who came out and tried to make this notion that they're cheating and paying players money
Right.
at Jackson State. Because they couldn't believe that this small little black school was able to out-recruit because of Deion. So that was partly jealousy of Deion.
Well, he knew. He did bring it out, but he knew that that's the great Deion Sanders. See, this is not a regular. He wasn't a regular person. That's Nick Saban knew that because they know each other. You know, Nick Saban was in the NFL. He knew Deion. He knew the deal. He knew he couldn't compete. He was like, damn, is he paying this kid? But then he also realized that's the great Deion Sanders. Like, I can't compete with that. Like, he's a Hall of Famer. He's enshrined in the Hall of Fame. He's arguably, listen, his freshman season at Florida State, he played baseball. No, I'm sorry. His first year in the NFL, not only did he play in the major leagues the same damn year, he played at the same damn time. And he was operating at an all-star level from the gate. He's not a regular person. Everybody knows him. He's known the world over. So he put the college world on notice because you cannot compete with that. You can't. This the kid from Alabama is getting ready to leave Alabama talking about, you got room for me. You can't compete with that. These kids relate to him. They see themselves in him. And he talks to them like they're somebody. And that's what he brings to the table. He's not like no regular coach. He's a once in a lifetime type of coach. Trust me, I used to play football. I know. He's like he's what you call a player's coach. It's very rare for somebody with those kind of credentials to come around. You're gonna want to play for him, and that's just the way it is. And it's gonna be hard for the Pac-12 to compete with him. He's gonna get those players from USC. He's gonna get them because when he sit at their table, he said, "Listen, my goal is to get you to the NFL. Not only that, my goal is to graduate you." And here's another statistic: he graduated 98.8% of his players. That didn't happen before Deion got there. He graduated those boys. And that's another thing that's very important. He got them to graduate. He said you cannot play football if you miss study hall. You ain't gonna play. And guess what? He sat somebody down and said you ain't gonna miss study hall. He said you can't miss study hall and play at the same time. This guy's special, man. They know, everybody knows he's special. Even Stephen A. Smith said, I didn't want him to go to Colorado. He said that's a mistake. I didn't want him to go there. I'm mad about it. He should have went to Auburn or Florida State. That's the kind of caliber he is. He's a Florida State type of caliber. But he's going to Colorado, he's cool with that. But he's a once in a lifetime type of coach. He's a once in a lifetime. He's that special. I've been watching him. His vlogs, because he's very transparent, by the way, in his vlogs and stuff. And the way he talked to them, he used psychology as well. The way he talked to them, he get them playing at a higher level. He said, look, I don't want them to think, I want them to be dressed like how if they were at Alabama. I want them to be treated the same way. And it's just the way he talked to them. I can't really explain it. It's just that I know if I was a player, I'm going to play with Coach Prime. That's who I'm going to play with, if I could. So yeah, he put the whole NCAA on notice, especially the Pac-12. It's like, yeah, people want to play for Nick Saban as well. It's because of the name. That's Nick Saban.
I want to stop it right here. I'll come back to that conversation, but this is what Umar said.
And I'm just talking about from my serious YouTubes. I'm not talking about the beef YouTubers because I don't consider beef YouTubers.
This is a mass media video.
I consider them. I know he partaked in other stuff, and they got it. They put him on notice. They put him on notice that I have something else for you. Because you notice he didn't say much about that photo. He said, yeah, it was just me being stupid. See, he's usually an outspoken person. He ain't say nothing this time. They got him dead to rights. I honestly believe whoever leaked it, and I'm not talking
2016, when Colin Kaepernick took a knee in 2016, when Colin Kaepernick took a knee 2016, Old Krusty said, any Dallas Cowboy who disrespects the flag. Old Krusty said, any Dallas Cowboy football player who disrespects the American flag by taking a knee during the protest will not be allowed to play for his football team. Old Krusty in 2016 said that Colin Kaepernick was not breaking the law but disrespecting the customs of the country. And Jim,
Well, WB, what happened was there, you said I agree with Umar's point about Amazon not being criticized or questioned about even offering the documentary and not taking it down. Alright, so in the entertainment industry, right, you can't have one foot in and one foot out. You gotta be all the way in. And they have agendas. And if you're not going along with that agenda, then they chastise you. Now it's not about the documentary. That's not it. It's not about that. You know why? Because he didn't say anything. He just shared a link and he said, oh, my bad. I'm sorry that you guys were offended by my bad. I took it down. And that should have been it. But that wasn't it. What did Kyrie do before that? He did something before that. He did something before that. It was with the jab. Remember, he said he's not taking the jab. They couldn't force him to take that jab, and he had to sit out. Right? Now, by him sitting out, that didn't hurt him not one bit, did it? Because he rested up his injuries if he had any. He got good rest, and even though he didn't get paid, he still got money in the bank. That's what did it. They were looking for something on him, and they got it. The reason why, now you might say this, well, he didn't want to take the jab, right? Fine. But he is someone that young people admire because he's not a regular basketball player. If it was somebody on the bench that didn't want to take the jab, it wouldn't have made news. But Kyrie Irving is one of the top point guards in the league.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. Because he potentially could have influenced a populace of people around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if Kyrie ain't gonna do it, I'm gonna
Yep.
be courageous as well and not do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he did. The only reason why Kyrie still has a career is because they can't take his career away, because it's not going to look good for the NBA. The reason why it's not going to look good for the NBA is because he's not a bad person. He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And people know it. It's not going to look good
Mm-hmm.
for their ratings if people decide that they're not going to watch the NBA anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Kyrie did. And that's why they're acting like this with him. Because I was like, wait a minute, this is not it. Because, okay, he shared a link. He didn't really say too much about it. He just shared the link. And then he took the link down when he realized people.
on September the
Check this out.
23rd. So Jerry Jones and his racist classmates wanted to reenact what just happened 5 days ago across town at Central High School. I said Jerry Jones and his racist little squad of white boys wanted to replay at North Little Rock what just happened at Central High School in Little Rock 5 days before, when the 10 black students were denied their right to get an education and they were bullied, threatened, attacked, and chased by white kids. But Jerry Jones didn't know what was going to happen. It already happened 5 days ago. Jerry Jones didn't know what was going to happen. It already happened 5 days ago. Jerry Jones didn't know what was
Watch this.
Let me ask Stephen A. Smith and Michael Irvin a question. Let me ask Stephen A. Smith.
Just go ahead and ask the question.
And Michael Irvin.
Hey, stop repeating yourself.
Stephen A. Smith,
Jesus.
you tore Kyrie Irving down. You walked it back after I got on that ass, but you still tore him down.
Yes, he did.
You tore him down.
Wait. This brother, man, I love it. This brother, I'm just letting you guys know, I love when he vlogs. I do. And he got notes. He's even more dangerous with the notes. So he got his notes with Stephen A. Smith. He said he walked it back as he got on that ass.
And according to Stephen A. Smith, because Jerry Jones was 14 years old at the time of his racist act, according to unlicensed defense attorney for white celebrities Stephen A. Smith, according to unlicensed defense attorney for white celebrities Stephen A. Smith, according to unlicensed defense attorney for white celebrities Stephen A. Smith Esquire, according to Stephen A. Smith Esquire, since Jerry Jones was only 14, he's supposed to get a pass because according to Stephen A. Smith Esquire, there's a statute on limitations for being held accountable for racism against black people. According to Stephen A. Smith Esquire, there's a statute of limitations on white people.
Give me a second, y'all. 1 second. I'm trying to get that photo.
Oh boy.
Just gonna move this over, okay? I am Stephen A. Smith Esquire.
Go.
For committing acts of racism against black people. Stephen A. says since he was only 14. Stephen A. says since he was only 14. Stephen A. says since he was only 14 and it was 65 years ago, he should not be questioned. Stephen A. Smith said full immunity for Old Crusty. Stephen A. Smith Esquire said full immunity for Old Crusty. And because he was 14 and because it was 65 years ago,
You can clearly see in this video, right? You can clearly see if you look. I would have to zoom in. He said something. He was saying something in this video. You see his mouth? You can see his teeth. He was saying something to these people. He definitely was participating because he wasn't just there to be to observe. He was mouthing something. I could just see from his facial expression that I could see his teeth. He was saying something. So he for sure knew what he was doing. For sure.
to go. Stephen A. Smith says, I don't appreciate this for Jerry Jones. He hurts for Jerry Jones. Stephen A. Smith feels bad for Jerry Jones. He don't feel bad because he never hired a black coach. He don't feel bad because he never took a stand up against racism. He don't feel bad because he's not doing nothing about the state of Texas passing a law making it illegal to teach black children about slavery or racism. He don't feel bad about that. He feels bad that black people would dare hold Old Crusty responsible for his role in preventing school desegregation in the state of Arkansas. And then we have to go to Michael Irvin. Now, where this buffoon came from, and see, I was a Michael Irvin fan. I was not a Cowboys fan. I was a Michael Irvin fan. I was a Michael Irvin fan.
You was a Michael Irvin fan.
And I don't know what it is with richly melanated black males. I don't know what it is with richly melanated black males, but the Michael Irvins, the Shaquille Uncles Sambo O'Neal, the Shannon Snow Money Sharps. I don't know what it is about
Snow
the
Bunny
darkest
Sharp.
There it is. Shannon Snow Bunny Sharp.
of African men that brings out the most buffoonery. What is it about the more melanated? The more melanated we are, the more buffoonery we like to get engaged in. So let me quote Michael Irvin. Let me quote Hall of Famer Michael Irvin, who said, quote, "I know him to be a righteous man and a very good man." Michael Irvin said, "I know Jerry Jones to be a righteous man.
Righteous man.
And a very good man.
Very good.
I know Jerry Jones to be a righteous man and a very good man." This is what Michael Irvin said. Then he said, quote, "Everybody in the South was a certain way back in those days." This is Michael Irvin. Everybody in the South was a certain way back in those days. Everybody in the South was a certain way back in those days. So according to Michael Irvin, since most white people were racist in 67, according to Michael Irvin, since most white people were racist in 1967, Jerry Jones should get a pass. Michael Irvin, Esquire, Stephen A. Smith, Esquire. So Michael says, quote, "His face don't look like he was there for battle." Michael Irvin is now a master psychologist who can read the intent of people by their facial expressions on pictures. I said, Michael Irvin Esquire.
Look, I just did it too. I read his facial expression on the picture and said that he was mouthing something that wasn't right. He was definitely participating. He wasn't just there. He was there to talk trash too. Michael Irvin Esquire.
Licensed defense attorney for Old Crusty can now read facial expressions and interpret their purpose. Michael Irvin says, "Jerry didn't look like the guy with the cigarette dude. He said Jerry Jones didn't have the cigarette in his mouth. He didn't look like the cigarette dude." Okay? See, when black men defend racism, when black
Hold on, I gotta go back.
defend racism, the guy with this,
He didn't look like the cigarette dude. Yeah, the cigarette dude looked like he was with the shits. He looked like it. Jerry was mouthing something too though.
cigarette dude, he said Jerry Jones didn't have the cigarette in his mouth. He didn't look like the cigarette dude. Okay? See,
Well, how about the dude
when
in that
black
cigarette
men
dude?
defend racism,
Hold on. Where's the picture?
when black men defend racism,
Hold up. Let's look at this. Okay, the cigarette dude. He's like the leader. He's really with it. He's like an upperclassman. The dude in back of him that's laughing, yeah, he's egging him on. And look at the dude in back of the cigarette dude near the circle. He looked like he just looked disgusted. Look at him. Let me see who else. There's the cameraman. He's there. See the tall dude that's standing next to Jerry Jones to the right of the circle? He mouthing something too. He definitely is. Jerry's mouthing something. Yeah, this is bad. This is a bad photo, man. I wonder if the cigarette dude's still alive. We gotta just unearth the cigarette. how I used to do back in the day.
When black men defend racism, we got a problem, brothers and sisters. When black men defend racism, Michael Irvin Esquire, you have no business speaking for Jerry Jones. Let Jerry Jones speak for himself. Stephen A. Smith Esquire, you have no business speaking for Jerry Jones. Let Jerry Jones speak for himself. You two Negroes are out of line. You are out of line. Just like Shaq and Charles Barkley and Candace Owens are out of line, constantly going after black people. Just like Shannon Sharp was out of line in his defense of Deion Sanders. First you get money, then you get power. That is not correct. I can tell you've been politically uneducated. I can tell you've been politically uneducated. Look at all the basketball players we got, scared to speak up. Look at all the football players we got, scared to speak up. Did you see Dak Prescott when he was asked about Jerry Jones? Did you see Dak Prescott when he was asked about Jerry Jones? Did you see Dak Prescott shivering in his boots like he was butt naked outside in the snow? Dak Prescott was so scared of saying the wrong thing about old Krusty. Dak Prescott was so scared about saying the wrong thing about old Krusty. Dak Prescott was so scared about saying the old thing about the wrong thing about old Krusty.
We heard you the first time. Damn.
It's easy for me to speak on race on one side or another, and I don't always. How do I say this? Yeah, I don't know if I've fully processed it all the way, honestly. In the same sense, it's 65 years ago, and how times have changed. And we look at the man's resume since then, right? And for growth and giving grace and trying to make this world a better place. Unfortunate things come up from the past pictures. That they show how far we've come, but in the same sense, they're a reminder of or just how short of a time that was ago.
Dak Prescott, I haven't processed. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to say nothing against, I'm biracial, so I can be on Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, I like you, bro. I'm a Dak Prescott fan.
Can you
Don't
see
you
the
ever again
biracial?
in your life bring up your biracialism. Dak Prescott, I'm talking to you, quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
That's good.
Don't you ever again in your life bring up the fact that you are biracial and use that as an excuse for why you can't hold a racist accountable for preventing the school desegregation so our children can get an education.
Let me say this about Dak Prescott. I'm not trying to defend him here, but just because he's a professional football player and he's famous don't mean he know what to say.
Right.
In this situation, he don't know.
Right.
Like you can't. Like I watch football. I don't watch them for the answers. You know, you usually watch football players because you're rooting for a team.
And this guy's a psychiatrist.
That's pretty much it.
Psychologist,
I'm not looking for him to speak out
therapist.
on social issues.
He is
I'm not.
talking like this.
LeBron tried to do it every
And
now
he wants
and then, but
he want
always
kids.
take
He
it
want
back.
send your
You
kids
know, I
if
don't
you black
hold
to go to his school.
I don't hold them to. I don't take what they say. I take it with a grain of salt.
So
That's
the
it.
non-black, he don't want
You
to
know,
see
they're
you.
not really
But
gonna
if
be
he's
out
black,
here for the revolution. They try to make their money. I get it.
you
But
can't
yeah,
make this
Dak,
up.
he knew what to say. You know what I would have said? Well, that picture is worth 1,000 words. That's all I'm gonna say. In this situation, pictures are worth 1,000 words. Next question. That's what I would have said. See, he didn't know what to say because they hit him with that question. He didn't know what to say.
Right.
I just simply would have said, a picture is worth 1,000 words, isn't it? Well, yeah, Dad. What about, no. Think about what I just said. I said a lot here. Just unpack it on your free time. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Next question. That's it. Yeah, LeBron, he takes stuff back. You know, got some stuff to lose. I get it. They put them up to say stuff. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Right.
You know, what are you gonna do? They could just simply said, I don't want to answer the question. You know, next question, please. That's it. But I don't take what they say seriously. I don't.
Dak Prescott, you was wrong for that, bro. Dak Prescott, you was wrong. You had no business bringing up your biraciality. You had no business, Dak Prescott, bringing up your biraciality as an excuse for why you couldn't hold Jerry Jones accountable for his role in preventing school desegregation in Arkansas. Come on, Dak Prescott. Come, I saw nothing but fear. So you Negroes who think money equal power, you really think money equal power?
No,
Really? Show me where. Show me. I'm looking for that. Show me with Oprah Winfrey. I'm looking for that. Show me with Tyler Perry. I'm looking for that. Show me with Bob Johnson. I'm looking for that. Show me with Puffy Combs. I'm looking for that. Show me where money equals power in Black America. Because every Negro we know with a lot of money has a lot of fear. Every Negro we know with
I would have said something else. A picture's worth 1,000 words, and go to Jerry Jones. Talk to that man.
Exactly.
Find out what he was saying in that photo.
Right.
See what he say. Well, we're asking you, Max. No, go to Jerry Jones. He's the one depicting that photo, not me. I just said a picture worth 1,000 words. So go to that man. He's a grown-ass man. Go find out what he said in that picture. Because you can clearly see his teeth. You can clearly see it. So you can clearly see his mouth is open right, Max. Well, go to him. And that'd have been it. If you've got anything to ask me about football, we can take those up right there.
Bucks is a big coward. So money don't equal power, you thirsty Negroes. And this is why. They're going to use our own reparations narrative against us. This is why.
Man, that's Umar Johnson, guys. That's the man moving. I'm telling you. Now he's getting to Deion. He's getting to Deion now.
A lot of people follow that guy.
I'm a big fan of his athletic ability.
I am too.
Arguably the most athletic player we've ever had.
That's right.
Arguably the GOAT
Right.
of professional football, despite Tom Brady. Deion
I
Sanders
have to
way more
agree.
athletic.
I have to agree. He played in the major leagues and the NFL at the same damn time.
Mm-hmm.
He sure did. And he could have been an All-American in track, but he just couldn't spend too much time with it. And he's a world-class track star. Baseball. He excelled in basketball in high school. He didn't play in college. He didn't have time to. Yeah, he's the GOAT. And I'm a Florida State fan, by the way.
Than Tom Brady. But let me give you my assessment of Coach Prime.
All right, get this
I
out.
respect him as a black man. I respect his accomplishments. Me and Charlemagne went back and forth over Deion today. You're going to see this when you watch the Black Breakfast Club interview. Charlemagne and Dr. Umar, respectfully, we went back and forth over this. Charlemagne is my brother. But we disagreed vehemently over Deion Sanders' decision. When Colin Kaepernick took a knee,
Yep, him and Bo Jackson.
I saw and heard Deion Sanders say out of his own mouth that Colin Kaepernick was wrong. I saw and heard Deion Sanders say Colin Kaepernick was wrong for taking a knee. Charlemagne said he didn't say it. Yes, he did. On national TV, he was in a roundtable discussion about the protest, and he said Colin Kaepernick was wrong. I wrote it down. I remember. I put him in the Django prison for that.
Oh, whoa.
Sanders in the Django prison for not standing with Colin Kaepernick.
The Django prison?
Yes, I did. Deion Sanders lost stripes for me when he didn't stand with Colin Kaepernick.
Okay.
Then, when I heard he took the Jackson State job, I've spoken at Jackson State before. Shout out to the Jackson State students. And if you are on the Jackson State football team, please text me and answer me one question. Did Deion Sanders tell you guys up front when he took the job? Charlemagne and I disagreed on this today during the Breakfast Club interview. Did Coach Prime tell you guys 3 years ago that if a white college offers me a job,
Yes.
I will leave
Yes.
immediately?
Well, all right, look, when he first took the job, he said if there are any big name programs that approach me, I'm going to entertain it. He did say it. He said it when he took the job. He said he will entertain it for big name. Let me tell you something. If Florida State had approached Deion Sanders and said, I need you to come coach for us, he would have been gone. He's from Florida State. He went to Florida State. He's All-American at Florida State. Why wouldn't he take the job at Florida State? Yes, he would have took the job. But I want to say this about Deion. I had said this last night. Deion left, and that facility is still up there. So he leaves behind that facility that he helped build. And he took money out of his own pocket to build it. And a lot of the food that the players, he was treating those players like they were at a big name school. He wanted them to feel like it because they will play better. They will feel like there's somebody. They will play better. They will live up to it. They will play, it's a psychology behind it. He wanted them, even though they're at Jackson State, he wanted.
Yeah, it's amazing what, see, a lot of people calling Deion a sellout don't even know half the things, what Max says, it's Max Media, what he's saying. A lot of people are just making comments and don't know anything, know the whole story.
Take on the University of Florida, it would have been a revolution. I'm not talking about football. I'm not talking about basketball. You're missing my point. Football and basketball was simply going to be the vehicle through which we rebuilt the HBCU movement so they can compete with the white schools. Because right now, the white colleges are stealing all the black students academically and athletically. The PWI is stealing all the black students athletically and academically. The PWI is stealing all the black students athletically and academically. I thought Deion, through his own words, he talked about the discrimination against the black colleges. And then you go and abandon the black college yourself for money. You abandon a 99% black school for a 99% white school for money. Now I'm about to go real deep with y'all. I'm about to go real deep, and I need
Remember
y'all to
the video I heard you earlier?
Deion
He's so off
Sanders
about this.
could have made history.
The other guy was right.
Deion
He's so
Sanders
wrong
could
about
have
this.
went down in history as one of the 10 greatest black men to walk this country because he saved an endangered species. The HBCU. It was bigger than football. It was bigger than basketball. It was about saving an entire legacy. Now let me tell you why. Oh, we know he ain't Jesus. See, the problem with y'all is y'all would do what he did. So we're not disagreeing. You're a different kind of a black man, that's all.
No,
This is why you can go marry white girls and feel no guilt. This is why you parade white women in front of little black girls and black women and you feel no guilt because you're a different type of a Negro.
What does that have to do? What
You
does
are
that
a
do with that?
money-first Negro. White America loves a money-first Negro. You know why? Because a money-first Negro can be paid to work against his own people's best
They're in
interests.
danger.
A money-first Negro can be paid
I'm still going to mentor black men because most of the football players are black. Deion, this wasn't about hiring a few token black coaches at a white institution. Deion, this was not about hiring a few black token coaches at a white school. Deion, this was not about coaching a few black students at a PWI. This was about saving systemically the HBCU legacy and the HBCU program holistically. This wasn't about sports, brother. Sports was the medium to do it, but this was bigger than sports, and you sold us out for money, bro. Just like you said Colin Kaepernick was wrong for taking a knee, your ass is wrong for leaving Jackson State. You dead wrong. Now let me go. Oh, and then y'all say, was he supposed to coach there forever? No. But he did need to coach there long enough to establish the black high school student to black college pipeline. And once that was firmly in place with ex-NFL and ex-NBA greats running the whole process so black colleges can't compete with white colleges, he could have left. How long do I think this would have took? 10 years.
Okay,
About 10 years.
I was just getting ready to think, like, what's long enough for Umar? Okay, 10 years. Okay, he should have stayed there 10 years, y'all.
Maybe 7.
Maybe 7.
3 years? You know what 3 years tells me, Deion Sanders? You know what 3 years tells Dr. Umar? 3 years tells me you used Jackson State. You exploited Jackson State to prove to white colleges that you could coach. You never intended on really helping them. You never intended on really playing a contributing role to the survival of the HBCU. You used them as a stepping stone to get noticed by the white football teams. And the minute you got a job, your ass ran. That is not a hero in my book. I don't give a damn what y'all say. I'm not canceling my brother, but I'm very disappointed. Y'all ready to go deep right now?
Uh-oh.
Y'all ready to go deep?
He got his nose.
Let me tell you why Deion Sanders' decision was so unfortunate.
Oh, there we go.
Let me tell you why Deion Sanders'
He's going
decision
deep now, y'all.
was so unfortunate. Right now, the United States Supreme Court is about to hear a case, 2 cases, involving Harvard University and the University of North Carolina. 2 cases involving Harvard University and the University of North Carolina. The question before the United States Supreme Court is whether or not race-conscious admissions policies are unconstitutional. Is it constitutional for PWIs to consider race and cultural factors in their admissions process? I hope Deion Sanders is listening. I hope Deion and all you Negroes who don't realize what a mistake he made, I hope y'all listening. The U.S. Supreme Court is hearing a case on whether racial consciousness in admissions decision, can you consider the race of a student in your admissions policy? Can you consider the race of a student in your admissions policy?
Imagine speaking at your university.
Can you consider the race of a
Imagine
student
a character like
in
this speaking
your
at a university.
admissions policy? Guess who's bringing the lawsuit? Asian Americans. And guess who's funding the Asian lawsuit? Guess who's funding the Asian lawsuit to the United States Supreme Court? The Asian lawsuit to the United States Supreme Court is being funded by white conservatives. Candace Owens's friends. Candace Owens' friends, her conservative buddies, they put $8 million into a
I ain't gonna
for
comment on that one.
Asians to challenge the constitutionality of race-conscious admissions policies at PWIs. I'm gonna think about that. Oh yeah. I'm the #1 scholar for a reason, brothers and sisters. I'm the #1 scholar for a reason, brothers and sisters. I'm the #1 scholar for the reason. Let me say it again. White, racist conservatives.
He's the #1 scholar.
Have spent $8 million to finance the Asians' fight before the Supreme Court to eliminate race as a factor in college decisions of admissions. Harvard University, University of North Carolina is the test case. If the Supreme Court overturns a 2016 decision that they made stating that race can be used as one of many factors in college admissions. In 2016, the U.S. Supreme Court said race can be used as one of many factors in college admissions, that student diversity is important. That's what the Supreme Court said in 2016. That's what the Supreme Court said in 2016. That's what the Supreme Court, they said you can use race as one of many factors in 2016. But guess what? The white man is funding the yellow man to eliminate the black man from the PWI. Did you hear me, Deion Sanders? Deion Sanders, did you hear me? Deion Sanders, let me say it so Deion Sanders can understand me. The white man is funding the yellow man to remove the black man from the white college. Let me say it one more time, so you Negropeans can understand, overstand, and understand me. Let me say it one more time. The white man is funding the yellow man to gentrify the black man out of the white college. That means if Judge Uncle Clarence Thomas, if Judge Clarence Uncle Tom S., and the conservatives of the Supreme Court, if they overturn the 2016 decision, I want every black person to hear me right now. I didn't get a chance to say this on the Breakfast Club today because I was late. No blame on envy, no blame on Charlemagne. But I want every black high school student to hear me. I want every black parent to hear me. I want all black people to hear me. If the Supreme Court overturns the 2016 decision to allow race as a factor in college when your child applies to a predominantly white institution, the color of their skin, the legacy of racism, the fact that Africans built this country will not be considered at all. Listen to what the Asians are saying. Listen to what the Asians and their white handlers are saying. The name of the organization is Students for Fair Admissions. Go and do your research on SFFA. Hashtag SFFA. Students for Fair Admissions. Hashtag SFFA. Students for Fair Admissions. Somebody please hashtag that for your brother. Somebody please hashtag that for your brother. Research Students for Fair Admissions. It's a movement started by a white racist Edward Blum. B-L-U-M. Somebody go look up Edward Blum. B-L-U-M. The white man funding the yellow man to push the black man out of the white colleges. Edward Blum, SSFA. Edward Blum is the founder of Students for Fair Admissions. The white man funding the yellow man to push the black man off the white college campus. This is why Deion made a big mistake. According to
does Deion have to do with
According to
something like
the
that?
Asians and their white handlers, they are discriminated against in the personality portion of the admissions process. Listen to me. Discrimination against Asians in subjective portions of the application process. Students for fair admissions claims that Harvard University admissions officers hold them to a higher standard by subscribing to the model minority stereotype. Admissions officers at Harvard University hold Asian Americans to a higher standard by subscribing to the model minority stereotype. SSFA claims that despite boasting higher test scores and better grades, although Asians have higher test scores and better grades than any other group, although Asians have higher test scores and better grades than any other group, they are consistently receiving lower rankings on personality traits according to a statistical analysis paid for by SSFA when they look at 160,000 student records. The Asians claim that emphasis on personality significantly undermines qualified Asians.
There are over 200 athletes was in the college portal for Deion.
On personality significantly undermines otherwise qualified Asian American chances of getting in. The Asian Americans and their white financiers. The Asian Americans and their white financiers want the Supreme Court to say that colleges, white colleges, can no longer use race, class, social economic status, previous disadvantage, other personality factors in the admissions process. Edward Blum, that white racist, and the Asian Americans, they want test scores and grades only. Test scores and grades. And they say that if the Supreme Court forces white colleges to only consider test scores and grades, Asian American college acceptance would go up by at least 20%. Listen to this. Asian American college acceptance will go up by 20%.
Hashtag Umar doing too much.
American college acceptance at PWIs would plummet by at least 50%. Do you understand why we needed Deion to stay at Jackson State? If there's any brothers who understand me, can I get a black fist? If there's any sisters who understand me, can I get some hearts?
Umar, there's other
I'm
black
talking to the
coaches.
nationalists. I'm talking to the Pan-Africans. I'm talking to those who care about black people. They are trying to eliminate black students from white colleges. This is why Deion Sanders made a mistake that's going to cost us. That brother should have been fighting to save the HBCU, and he skated off.
One man's supposed to
And
do
now
that.
Colorado University is going to make millions of dollars off Deion Sanders. That's why he's there. Deion Sanders ain't there because they care about him. He is there to be their plantation slave. Deion Sanders is
That's
there
strong
to
language.
be the overseer for the
That is strong
plantation
language.
football players to make money for the plantation kings, brothers and sisters. Y'all don't see the slavery in this? Y'all don't see the slavery in this? They're going to use Deion and make millions. Nobody's coming to see them games. They coming to see Deion Sanders. They don't care if they win at Colorado. They know Deion can sell millions and millions of tickets. Just like the University of Michigan exploited the fan father Chris Webber. Just like the University of Michigan exploited the Fab Five and Chris Webber. Just like the University of Michigan exploited the Fab Five and Chris Webber. The University of Colorado with 1.6% black students. 1.6% black students is going to exploit Deion Sanders for millions of dollars. They are using that brother. They using that brother and stole him from us, and he went with the slave master against his own people. Let's keep on going. The Asians are more likely than blacks to receive a low personality score at predominantly white colleges, according to SFFA, Students for Fair Admissions. Asians.
But here's the thing with sports, it's a business, and yes, all college players,
Yes.
black or white, whatever color you want to call yourself, were exploited.
Yes.
They just now created the NILs, where college players, it's called name, image, likeness, where you can get paid off of
Exactly.
your name, image, and likeness.
Bingo.
This is relatively new. When I was coming up playing sport, they didn't have that. Players, only thing they said, look, you better be lucky we give you a scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they got. But now, they're having the opportunity to make money now.
Right.
It's like the Alabama quarterback. He was the Heisman Trophy winner. His sophomore campaign, I believe, he won the Heisman Trophy as a sophomore, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting over $3 million a year.
Wow.
LeBron James' son, I believe he's still in high school. He's making about $2 million a year in NIL deals. So all players were getting exploited by these colleges, whether you were in the HBCUs or not. All of them were getting exploited.
Right.
So it's not just the Fab Five.
Right.
And they brought a lot of money to Michigan that year. Those 2-3 years they were there.
Yeah.
Chris Webber only stayed to his sophomore year. He went to the NBA. But yeah, all college players, whether you women's basketball, all of them were getting exploited. But now they got the NILs where players can decide, like, okay, why wouldn't I want to go play with Deion? He's building his team up. I got more of an opportunity to make more NIL money as well. Because Deion said it at the meeting. He said, oh, the boosters are coming. He said, oh, the money is coming. He said the NIL deals are coming. So, yeah, it's big business even for the players now, Not everybody's going to make it to the NFL, but you want to get the most amount of money possible because the university's been making money on these kids for years, man. So, yeah, everybody getting exploited back then, even now still.
Mm-hmm.
Funded by whites. Yellow and white working against black. Where the multiculturalists at now? Yellow and white working against black. Where the multiculturalists at now? Yellow and white working against black. Where the multiculturalists now? Yellow and white working against black. Where are the multiculturalists now? Oh, you don't know? When Asians first came to America, they sued in court to be called white. You don't know? When Mexicans first came to America, they sued in court to be called white. Oh, you don't know? When Puerto Ricans first came to America, they sued in court to be considered white. Oh, yes. Go do your research. I'm going to say it again. When Puerto Ricans first came into America, they sued in court to be called white. Chinese sued in court to be called white. Mexicans sued in court to be called white. And now you have white people funding the Asians to eliminate the blacks. The white man funding the yellow man to take down the black man. This is why Deion Sanders' decision has to be viewed with contempt. We're not canceling our brother. We're not dismissing our brother.
Right.
We love Deion Sanders, but he made a bad decision. That's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. Let's keep on going.
You're not canceling our brother.
Yeah.
Check this out, and I'm going to end it on this note. Students for fair admissions. Asians funded by whites. is funded by conservatives who are tied to all 6 of the 9 conservative justices on the Supreme Court. I hope y'all heard what I just said. I hope y'all heard what I just said.
I heard you.
I hope you heard. I'm going to say it again. SFFA is funded by conservative whites under Edward Plum. And the conservatives that are funding the Asian lawsuit against blacks, the funders of the Asian lawsuit against blacks before the Supreme Court, they are tied to all 6 of the 9 conservative justices on the U.S. Supreme Court bench. Do y'all know what that means? You think a Tatiana Jefferson's case is a setup? No blacks on a jury of a cop who murdered a black woman?
We're going to take a time out for a second. We got a guest coming to the stage. And I need to take an intermission. I say. He said they're using the yellow man
Yellow.
to take out the black man.
Yeah, the black man.
Yeah. Oh man. What can we do with Umar, man? Is he making any valid points, anybody? What do you think? He is just hell-bent. He got his notes and everything. Man. He did something else today.
Yeah.
But he is the #1 scholar. I got it written right there. He's the #1 scholar for a reason. You say he's blowing smoke. I don't know what his problem is with Deion. He said he wanted him to stay there for at least 10 years. Hey, it's going on information.
Hey, how you doing, brother? I just wanted
What's
to
this?
add a couple of comments, not to disrupt what you're doing here. I've been listening to your stream most of the time that you've been on, and I've been listening to Umar Johnson and his rhetoric. He doesn't really know what he's talking about. At the end of the day, and I'm going to be doing a breakdown on Deion tomorrow, and I'm going to reveal some things that we're going to definitely surprise some people. But this is the problem. Black people in general, but not exclusive to just to us, we have a messiah complex. When you look at what Umar said about it wasn't about football, but it was about saving the HBCUs. We're listening to a man, ladies and gentlemen, who's been dragging on for God knows how long about building a school for black boys. And look at where he picked an environment to so-called have a school. He picked an environment that is browning with environmental problems. He picked an environment where there's
Information
drugs.
continue. I'll be right back. Continue though.
Where there's drugs and there's all sorts of environmental issues and crime. He went out and picked a school in an area
This man.
that was not fit for what he was trying to do. This is a man that has been BSing us since the early 2009 and what have you about trying to open up a school. And now he wants to sit up here and give a critique about Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders has done more for Jackson State than Umar Johnson has done for black kids, although he claims that he's done so much for black kids. The problem that Umar is not talking about when it comes to saving black institutions is that it's not on one man to save black institutions. It is on all of us. You see, what he failed to tell you today is that if we wanted to stop white colleges from benefiting from black athletes economically, all we have to do, since black athletes, black males, black women, come from black people. They come from the body and the love of black men and black women. All we have to do as mothers and fathers is stop sending them to white schools. See, it isn't this magical thing that Deion wants that Umar Johnson wants to tell you all. He wants to get into this magical talk stuff, this heart type stuff. That type of stuff. He wants to get into magical talk.
Right.
When in fact, he wants to get into magic talk, right? He wants to use his magic powers, and I've talked to you all about this. I talked to you about this before, Max, that he has this magical power when he speaks to convince people.
Right.
The bottom line is, Deion Sanders as one man was not going to save HBCUs. What he was simply doing, he was hired as a football coach. By the way, the other football coach was fired prior to him. You know why, ladies and gentlemen? Because he wasn't winning games, which meant they weren't generating money. So this was never about saving the HBCUs. It was about saving the football program that in turn makes the school look good. Now, there's a young lady on YouTube that I've reached out to who has a channel, and she's at Jackson State, and she's interviewed several of the students. And some of them are not hating on him for leaving, and some of them are. And a lot of the students are saying that, well, when Deion was here, most of what he did basically impacted the football program and football players, but it didn't really impact the average regular student who's going there for academics and that's not on the football team. So this whole thing that he's saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, that how it was going to transform, no. Deion brought attention to the HBCUs. He brought money. And I'm going to get into that tomorrow. But one man was not going to save HBCUs. We have a Messiah complex problem within the black community, in which we always are looking for someone to save us.
Right.
And then we put everything on one person's shoulders instead of looking at ourselves in the mirror and saying, what could I do to make things better? The first thing you can do is, if you have a black child, a black son, send him to a historical black college. Then you end that altogether. Or if you have a daughter and a son who's got athletic skills, then you send them to a historical black college so they can display their athletic skills there. If all black people stop sending their kids to traditional white schools and send them to black colleges, then guess what happens? There's stuff that what Umar was saying, I've been saying this a long time ago. If black people sent all their kids to historical black colleges, especially those athletes, it would dry up the white schools. It would dry them up because they wouldn't be able to recruit the black players because they couldn't get any in. Which means, imagine if you have a football game or a basketball game, it's all white guys. It's going to be boring. Nobody's going to watch it. All of a sudden, they're going to start watching the players over in the historical black colleges. When Alabama, give you a little history here, the SEC, which is college football conference, the Southeast Conference, they didn't recruit black players because they felt that it was the Deep South and they didn't want black players on these football teams or in these schools, as you know. So they didn't recruit black players. You know who was recruiting black players? Places like Syracuse, where Jim Brown played, places like USC. So there was a game between, I think, Alabama and USC when Bear Bryant was at Alabama. Alabama got their ass kicked, and they got ran over because USC had all this black talent. This is about money, nothing else. And they realized, we better get some black players in here because these other schools are recruiting them and they're kicking our ass. Well, up until that time, most black people could only send their kids to historical black colleges. When you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Raiders, many of these teams in the NFL became great because the players came out of historical black colleges. When you look at the Sweetness, who played running back, Walter Payton, thank you, who played at Jackson State. He came out of Jackson State. So many great talents do come out of black college football that will allow us to still make that dream, our kids to be able to live their dream. when Deion Sanders was at Jackson State, do you know, everybody, that there was no HBC Pro Day? Now he's got the NFL teams creating a pro day specifically for HBCU schools to look at their talent and evaluate that talent to get to the next level. This is what Deion Sanders did in just 3 years being at Jackson State. I'm just giving you that as just a small example. I got a whole bunch more in the bag. You got to watch tomorrow.
Wow. So basically, in a nutshell, Umar is all the way wrong. He come on with this whole rhetoric and he's trying to make it bigger than what. Even if something like that would happen, how does one man like Deion? It's not going to change the thing. If it did, about what he said about the Supreme Court with the Asians and the white whatever, the white racists, that's not going to change anything. One man can't change something like that. So that was just, to me, it was just like, like, okay, that's one man, but you can only go get another black coach that would pick up. And in fact, he even said that in part of the video that towards the end that he encouraged one of his staff, some man, to take over that was on the staff. And I mean, and this is the type of guy, not the guy was speaking, but the guy you see in the picture we were talking, Umar. Could you imagine bring you to your varsity and you see these professionals, they don't see that. And that's why he don't get no gigs. That's why he don't get no invitations somewhere, because he says things and it's very, very unprofessional. That's why. And then he pointed out, if he would have worked with celebrities, if he wouldn't bash them, and really if he was about what he's doing, they would probably send him money for his school. And where his school is located, I made a video in the past, it was in the hood in Delaware. It's on ground that is toxic. He bought a school on the ground that's toxic. It want black children to come there. And then he got people that supporting it. And he been, as he's saying, asking for donations since 2009. He finally picked up the building in 2019. Everybody across the YouTube talked about this. And so the outlandish stuff that he says, that's what, and it's like there's people, it's gonna probably be another 2 or 3 years he'll be going, and it'd be some dumbass that still send the money. There's, I mean, you can't, the school is toxic. It ain't even properly ventilated, ain't properly electrical, it is, or anything. And he been talking about it since over a decade. Building a school. And then when people try to give him some advice, he's trying to build a nation. He's trying to be the first Pan-African off of donations. Off of PayPal. Off of PayPal and off of donations. Everybody was pointing out, well, how are you going to pay the insurance, the taxes, and all that stuff, because he owed taxes. And the one guy, his name is Leonard Arnold, he pointed out, and when some other people pointed out the tax bill on that. Other legal ramification about having the building. But he think he's going to Pan-African in this at all. The statements he said about that, like, you know what Snow Bunny is? Because Shannon Sharp's wife, his girlfriend, is white. So that's Snow Bunny. That's what Snow Bunny means. I mean, what the hell, Jesus. But dude got issues. And this is people. I don't know what some people find so fascinating about him. I don't know why they keep. I don't know why some people keep sending the money, and it don't take that long to build a school. It don't take over a decade to try to do it itself. When the evidence is online that each year he has the ability, he owes taxes after taxes, the hundreds and thousands of dollars in back taxes in Delaware. Then the electrical system, and that's just getting the building up to code. There were people offered to help him. He turned it down. You know, black contractors, because they said black people don't do this. Black people don't do that. There were black contractors that try to want to help him. And Leonard Honor pointed that out. Oh Lord. I just don't see why people keep sending the money and don't question anything. It's just as long as you keep with that prisoner pipeline, put you back into the ancestry realm about Africa and getting some Gungu goose and talking all this stuff, some of the topics, and he keeping black people 30 years behind. And he talk a good game, but he don't act a good game. He don't put his own money down on the school. And he wants poor black people from all working poor black people, along with the few ones that do, to fund him so he can feel like make him like his run tore down, being like it's an empire for all the Pan-Africanists throughout the United States. You can't make this up, man. I tell you. And people, he actually go, and they no school, no organization want to talk to this man. No any black organization don't, because they know it's crazy. Some crazy talking about it. He only gets small vineyards with a few people that is like all the ramification, like speaking at small gyms and restaurants. But I'm talking about stadiums, like auditoriums and of thousands of people. And nobody want to bring him to the church. Don't probably want me to the mosque. They don't want to take him to an institution because he just talks. And you hear what he's saying. It's like, wow, do you really, he just says anything that come off his head. And you wondering why some people, and most professionals, see that kind of talk. Imagine you a professional hearing that, a black psychiatrist or in the professional world. They know that's crazy. That's crazy talk. Oh man! All right, ladies and gentlemen, I wasn't gonna be too long, but that's Max Media. I got an information man's channel you want to check out, and he probably have it on it tomorrow. But yeah, he just say some things like, "Are you serious? I don't believe you just said that." Yeah, he said that. And he's been talking like that the whole long. He used terminology about your little girl, she's acting out a certain behavior. He called it thottish behavior, and then he was on there ranting about sexual things. If she get acting out sexually on sexual positions, she got a thottish behavior. Oh yeah, it's some graphic stuff that he said. I mean, it's like, this is the reason why. I mean, he was just blurt about, hand jobs and all. I mean, he just went rant. Like, what kind of shit is this? Yeah, and people want to send it. Want them? He's supposed to be a psychologist, the best scholar in the world, talking like this. And some people, I'm laughing because some people are foolish enough to send this man money. I mean, some of the stuff he says, like, dang, could you imagine if some professional would listen, like, what the? Even some professionals would say that's just some outrageous. There's no terminology. Some of the things he used, he just make up terminology. I mean, he says words like politics over the punani and like just You just can't make this stuff up. You just anyway. He got some issues, man. He got some issues, and some people are supporting and following. One man tried to be like him, got fired off his job. Trying to take on his mentality. Trying to be like Umar. He got fired off his job. And he's unrealistic. They scared to say something. And it's just like what Max said. It really is up to the owner to answer that question. It's something that happened in the past. It ain't gonna stop people from going to the game. So he owns the Dallas Cowboys, which ain't gonna. All this stuff that's happening, people still going. Black people, like any other people, gonna still watch football. It ain't gonna make a difference. It ain't gonna make it. Is it true? Trying to guilt conscious with you with that, man. It's crazy. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry, it's over an hour and 30 minutes long, but I just want you to check the reactions. It's just some people you just you get some people online, and that's it. They just probably listen to what kind of crazy things will come out of his mouth, and it's crazy. It's like one minute he sound all right. Next, man, I don't know who's worse, him or Kanye. Jesus, I don't know who's worse. Kanye saying some crazy stuff, and he's saying some crazy stuff. The only thing he's not on a level like Kanye. And I hope this don't offend nobody. I hope it's some of the things, but you just got to see what kind of. Yeah. You got some people out there got some issues, and and it's true with the information, man. When it comes to black folks, it's true. We do have that kind of mentality. Like we're looking for a messiah. He got to take on all the responsibility. No, some of us do, not all of us, but some of us do. Like he was just, he's here to win games. He's a sports figure. He ain't there to get all into politics. He do what he do. They paid him to do. And like when you hear in some of my earlier video what he done for the school, but people just calling him a coon and a sellout and everything else under the sun. That's messed up. Some people don't appreciate when they got a good thing in the midst of them. So anyway, guys, you take care and have a good day. And sorry it was so long, but I just wanted to get the response. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Share it with somebody. Again, go to Max Media and Information, man. Shout out to them. I'm just a little small YouTuber over here. Just in my own little zone. Alright then, you guys take it easy. Till next time, you guys take care.